pussy in a dollar bin. Guess you forgot your galana bin. You can't get loose. You got your tongue again. Rope burn on your hand. Oh, you know,
Tags, he is the hero. Yevny, oh dear, showing the back to Ambition. Oh no, he received a shot, now he's a one shot. Oh dear, Yevny, can he survive? It's the $1 million question now, can he survive? He race. Oh my god, oh no, he found a whoopsie, he found a, oh no. Good evening everyone, we are back with the Winter Season Championship and we are heading into the climax of this very esteemed Winter Season Championship, and you're going to see some exciting games actually. All of these teams tonight have already earned at least $1,000 US, and let's once again brief you about the Winter Season Championship format. Tonight's games will be played in the best of 7 series, which is going to be the team that wins the first 4 matches will win the fixture. The format is a double elimination knockout stage, so if a team loses 2 fixtures in this tournament, they are knocked out of this tournament. The tournament is seeded by the leaderboard ranking in previous skill tournaments, and that information can be found on the website under the Hall of Fame tab and also the Clans sub tab. And monetary prizes is as follows. Top 3 will be earning at least $1,000 US. The second place $1,500 and $2,500 for the first placing team. Upper bracket finals, we are going to begin with Vineyards and then Yukon, Alpenstadt, and finally Naval Frontier as a tiebreaker potentially. Lower bracket finals will begin with Camsteer, Faust, Descent, and finally Black Ophil. Quite a good mixture of medium oriented and heavy oriented maps. I think we are seeing a lot more medium oriented maps in this for tonight's game, so I think it will benefit teams who are playing better with more mediums and so on. Upper bracket first round was held on the 23rd, and tonight we're going to start off with the upper and lower bracket finals, and tomorrow will be the grand finals, which I am privileged to be streaming. And upper bracket finals will be held at 7 o'clock in the Hong Kong time, and the lower bracket finals will be held at 8:10 in Hong Kong time, GMT+8 it is. Feast are going with Mad Dogs as the captain of the team, and then we have Bifrost, F Silver, Hidden Surprise, Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, XBM WW, Winter Fox, James, and Sugu and Mugu. Feast is once again a very well-known team on the Asia server, has been in every single professionals tournament since 2018, and they represented Asia server back in 2018 Twister and 2019 Twister, and despite of the disappointing results in 2020 autumn, Mad Dogs is using this winter season as a platform to train, and also as a rebuilding process that he's going to do. And he said he's going to focus more on player development and also the player skills, so there will be a lot of trainings concerning that, and also teamwork is another thing that they're trying to improve on. And with this kind of lineup, Mad Dogs previously announced a hiatus back in right after the autumn season, but obviously they have taken it short, and now they're back fully with a very solid team, and currently they're in the top 3, and they have finished better than last season. And next we have GV going with Berlin, Professor, Tokyo, Moscow, Monaco, the Yakuza. Welcome to Vietnam, Florida, Doha, and Manila. This is a Vietnamese clan. However, we know, however, in the regulations, Vietnamese players would not be receiving the monetary prizes. So I have a huge respect for them for taking this tournament seriously, albeit them not getting any monetary prizes in the end. And I believe they are not really playing this for the monetary prizes and pretty much for experience and for reputation, and this is something that I'm really proud of. Just going to get the introduction of GV up. So this the first team name back in 2017 is actually called MIB, or Men in Black, and as they grew, they wanted a much more Vietnamese clan, and so they decided they go back to the old clan named GV, and it is one of the oldest clans in World of Tanks Blitz. And I remember that clan when I started on the Asia server. It's kind of a popular clan and also quite a good clan as well. And they started training for the professional tournament since 2017, and they have some achievements throughout. They were the runner-up of the Blitz Asia Cup back in 2020, and also also the runner-up of the 2020 summer season. However, they claim that their goal is much bigger than that, and they want to be representing Asia server in the well-esteemed Twister Cup, and this is their main motivation of their team. Their team's average age is around 22 years old, and their slogan is "We are brothers, we fight together." Actually, one of them comes from Laos. Not all of them comes from Vietnam, so most of them are living in big cities, and hopefully they also ask me for my support, and also obviously for your support as well. Hello, Kraken. Welcome everyone. Thank you for 30 viewers so far. That's very nice. After that, we have Team ID going with Campen, Plorielica, Lanny, Arrowpath, IDS, Last of For Me, On You, Spartan Sword, Active Duty, and also Radioactive. Hello, Helmi Musa. How are you doing? And this is a South Korean team, obviously, and Campen is the captain of the team, and he's really famous for being very handsome. So ask him for a headshot if you want to, but just joking. Don't go and harass him. But here we go. Just going to load up their introduction as well for Team ID, which I have to find it somewhere. I remember it somewhere, but I just lost it. Just bear with me for a moment. Oh gosh, here we go. Oh my god, I have to remember your name. Here we go. They were one of the most renowned teams in this server once again. They represented Asia server back in 2016 and went all the way to the finals, and they remain to be the only Asia server team that went into a Twister Cup finals. So Team ID, but then back then they are composed of a different bunch of players, not the players you're seeing right here. And they also got the runner-up in 2018 in the Blitz Twister season, and the first and the champion in the 2020 spring season. I think you got the champion in the summer season, if I remember correctly, and third place in the 2020 autumn season. Don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you very much, Caps Game, for mentioning that. They do want to keep some of the parts secret about the player's age and also the occupations of some players. But anyway, it doesn't matter at all. It's not really pretty much like the main thing of this game. So other than that, they cannot confirm whether they can achieve good results this year, but they have already got a top 3 position. So I think this season's performance, they have met their expectations, and I hope they will further extend their achievements and also be one of the strongest teams on the Asia server. And they are really one of the strongest teams on the Asia server, and I think they want to represent Asia server once again in the Twister season and the Twister Cup, I think. Come on, no keys for you, okay? Absolutely no keys for you. Imagine only 9 players. Yes, I know, right? they usually assign tanks into increased judgment in practice room. This is how they train their team, and also they use quick tournaments to train their team as well, to just simply play the games without any strategy. So quick tournaments, I think a lot of people are underestimating the importance of playing quick tournaments in terms of training your team. Quick tournaments, because you do not know which maps you're playing on. That means you do not have enough time to talk through with your teammates about strategies. So in this way, first you can train reacting with what the enemy doing, and also pretty much the fundamental stuff about focus fire, hit point pool sharing, and your formation. Quite a lot of teams, they ignore how a good formation line, a good positioning of different tanks can have an effect on your team's chances of winning the matches. And I think quick tournaments, because now you do not take full emphasis on strategies, then you're going to actually focus more on the map and also your map awareness. So I think quick tournaments is a really good way to train your team if you think that your team is missing some of the fundamental stuff, and I think this is a good opportunity. Mapbox is predicting Cats 3-2 against Team ID. Feast, Team ID obviously won that match, so Mapbox is predicting Feast to win GV 4-2. Challenges tournament, RN is predicted to win Calm 2-0. Once again, it's best of 7 series, so whichever team wins the first 4 matches will win the fixture. Other than that, I will get into the room and I will continue to talk about donations. So if you want to donate to my stream, there are 3 ways. The best way is through PayPal, but you can also donate on other different platforms. It's totally up to you which method you want to use, and I really hope that if you cannot donate any money to my stream or to my channel, don't worry, it's perfectly fine. Just hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. That would be pretty nice of you indeed. And the transitions have been rendered, so I think the stream quality is now fine, I believe. So here we go. Let's get into this room. And I hope I get the right side though. Hope the GB is on the red team, on the blue team, and Feast is on the red team. And here we go. Vineyards is a map, as I always say, is kind of an undulated map, and it's somewhat open as well. And that's why I think Vineyards would benefit from a much more medium lineup, and also some hold down tanks as well. And I mean, the undulation of the map would really require the good terrain resistance from the mediums and also the mobility to work around the map. So this is why Feast is going to take double Batchats, which you might be expecting one of them to go into a particular position near the northwestern corner to reset B. But no, Feast is on the south side, so that doesn't have that isn't valid at all. So it doesn't matter, but double Batchats as a platoon could work really well. You have that burst damage, you also have that mobility. The problem is the gun's accuracy is a bit bad, so it's a catch-22 here. You have a good burst damage, but you really need to be careful with your gun. The accuracy can sometimes let you down. Doesn't have good penetration at all, and that is typical of a light tank. If that light tank has really good penetration, it's going to be OP. So you can't have everything in the light tank. And you also have quadruple T185s from Feast. You can see a lot of hold down tanks, a sleepy line in the Crown Wagon, also a hold down tank. GB going with double IS-4 by Berlin and Manila, triple T185s by Moscow, Tokyo, and Yakuza, so double T22s by Monaco and Professor. And you're going to be seeing some, the double IS-4s, you might be expecting some city play here, because IS-4 works really well on flat ground, and the only flat ground on this map is near the city side. It can also work in held down situation, but you have to be careful with the gun depression. It only has 6 degrees of gun depression, so given that this map is quite undulated, getting your tanks into these kind of into that terrain could put yourself in some sort of trouble, and also because there are slopes. Undulation means you have a lot of like little hills and some big hills as well. So kind of these kind of like the angling, the upward angling, the downward angling would de-angle your armor, and potentially your armor will become weaker in this way. Hence, we will see how GV is going to work with this lineup and Feast as well. And let's get into the first game of upper bracket finals, winter season championship. It is. Due to, I think it's legal side, that is why Vietnamese players are not able to get any monetary prizes. We cannot interfere with the internal affairs of those countries, like some particular country that always uses this phrase, right? So yeah, you know, it's not Wargaming's fault, it's the country's fault because of their laws and so on. So don't blame Wargaming for this. They are not being racist. It's just those kind of the legal laws which really prevents some players from particular regions to earn anything. So here we go. I got the right side. Yes! Feast! Red team, South Side, GV, blue team, North Spawn. Let's head down to Monaco, shall we? And the double backchat's going into the northwestern corner very quickly at the start. Monaco is getting spotted. Very interesting. I don't know if it is the double backchats getting those spots up, but F Silver is looking to reset Monaco. That is a really good strategy from Feast as a start, and Monaco loses a lot of hippos already and loses another. Oh my goodness me, look at the double backchats, the burst damage onto Monaco. He will not be happy, but Feast is receiving a push. GV has already made a push already into Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, and he's really low, and in fact he's the first tank down. Oh my goodness me, that is a really good move from GV. Look at Yakuza is now very low, and I think Feast is in some sort of trouble, but they have the high ground. The T110E5s had the high ground. They focus Yakuza, and Yakuza is down. The Bifrost is now in heaps of trouble, and he's dropped the reactive armor. He's looking for Tokyo, I think. He has low health. Yes, he puts a good shot into Tokyo, but then he's now getting surrounded by 2 tanks, and Tokyo is now dead. Hit points still with Feast, but and also guns are with Feast. Moscow takes a lot of hits there, but Bifrost is still hanging on, but not for long here. And Moscow is going to be the next tank down for Feast. And the double backchat's still really healthy here. And Moscow is now dead, leaving 3 tanks alive for GV. Double Ice Force there, and Berlin is a little bit low. And now he's down to a 3-shot potentially, and he's dead. And we are left with 2 more tanks alive, Professor and Manila, and Feast will be going home the first win with a punch, I must say. And F Silver is looking for Professor. He got double tapped and just need 1 more shell in, and Professor's now killed. Last man standing is Manila. Very quick games overall, only lasted for around 2 minutes. And Feast is really demanding here, and the hidden surprise. It's not going to surprise GV anymore, because Feast is going to win the first one. Don't drink energy drink, sorry. But here we go, Monaco. Oh, I feel sorry for Monaco getting shut down by the double backchats very early on. I really like that strategy. It's really good. I think Maddox is the one doing that, planning that strategy. Very clever indeed. And other GV tanks, only 2 more tanks did more than 2k, and Feast 5 tanks did more than 2k, killing 7 tanks in total. very impressive stuff from Feast. Wow, this is just amazing. And now sides are switched. This time Feast going for double 50Bs. Interesting. How are they going to work with that? 50Bs is not good for hull down, and that is why you don't see 50Bs a lot in those very open and also very medium-oriented maps, because you can't hold down. Actually, the turret armor is pretty weak. But then it's really good for ambushing and assassinating tanks. So how is Feast going to work around this? We are going to know very soon. This is currently 1-0 to Feast. Thank you, Cougar. Thank you very much. Here we go. There we go. Now, I mean, there are people who are supporting GV and also people supporting Feast. Oh my gosh, this is going to be interesting indeed. And Wargaming has already pinged us up for those matches. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so we have now GV on the south spawn, Feast on the north spawn. And let's see, Monaco is going to be at the start. Meanwhile, the 50Bs are going into the city side. Interesting call here, and GV will get the cap. At the start. Professor's going to the northwestern corner, but Feast aren't sending any tanks for that side. Interesting. Bifrost is getting a T-125 in that bush. GV is trying to get their luck. Bifrost pull back. I am confused. Interesting. I think Bifrost has the sixth sense that GV is going to rush Bifrost, so that's why they've ignored A entirely. But James is looking at that. James is very isolated, but Monaco takes a big beating already from those tanks here near the city side. Feast is playing this interestingly, but James is really low. I mean, James Bond. I mean, he's now 1,400. He's the lowest, has the lowest hit points in this team. But look at Feast now branching, now pressuring, pushing the lineup. And I think now the 50Bs are looking for a tank to assassinate. Which tank are they going for? It's either the Yakuza or Manila. And look at Feast now barreling in very angrily. And Manila is pulling back good shots from the 50Bs, but I think they need to land that last shell, but could not penetrate. It's so far hit points are with GV. GV are holding this one well. And F Silver is looking for Manila and also Yakuza, but no. Let's go down to F Silver and see what tanks he can go for. He has a nice overview, but he bounces onto Berlin. And B Force is really low here. And good shell from F Silver. And it's now 6-7. Now GV are leading in hit points by a lot. Berlin is really low. It's now one shot, but Feast is falling apart. But with Berlin now dead, we are seeing the IS-4 and the Yakuza now fighting back for the 50Bs with Sugar and Mugu. Now F Silver is still really healthy here, and Sleeping Lions now are one shot, and GV definitely got this. It's now 2-6, and F Silver puts a good shell into Manila, but I think it's too late here. F Silver is going to kill Manila, and that is the case with Yakuza looking for F Silver. It's a bounce from Professor and a ram from Professor as well. But on the other hand, we also have Maddox now very low. He's in the T-125, not the IS-4 for some reason, but obviously it's Vineyards, so you never know. Oof. Wi-Fi Firefly's channel is really excited, really hyped about Feast, but I think Feast this time a lot off this time. I think it's just I think it's just a strategy. I do not believe like something fundamental has gone wrong. Obviously, James took way too many hits there, but I think kind of the execution of the strategy and also how they kind of push the enemies, I think GV was able to hold comfortably and totally leaving A, totally not capturing A. I'm not sure if it's a good idea here. I do see the concern by Bifrost getting rushed out by GV, but GV are also holding in really good positions, and it's really hard to push in that situation. So I think Feast has made a misplay there, and it's now 1-0 to both teams. No rewards for watching this stream, contrary to what is said on the website, so I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. The website is a bit misleading in that respect, and but then the grand finals, we probably will be getting some rewards, hopefully, and let's see. You get knowledge. You're right, Stinge. You get more Clan Wars knowledge from my commentary and also watching the teams play. So we are now onto Yukon, which is somewhat of a flat map. So a lot of the action will be happening around the northeastern corner. So in a sense, you will see quite a lot of IS4s and also the Mouses. But Feast are taking lots of T125s as well. It's a pretty large map, so you also want some mobility, so some medium tanks would be really, really nice. So Yukon, I think it will be really good to have a combination of mobile tanks and also some heavily armored tanks. And this is why GV are taking double IS4 once again and a Mouse, double T22 and double T125 with Feast, triple T125, double T22, a 50B and an IS4. Thank you for those. Thank you for your compliment here. And GV on the north side, now blue team going mostly to D. Very, very interesting. Both teams are going mostly to D for the very first time. I see for the very first time I see in Clan Wars. It's are we seeing a change in meta for Yukon? Good shell into Professor from F Silver. Sugamuka couldn't hit anything, but D is now getting captured by GV, and B is going to be captured by GV as well. Feast once again not playing for the caps. They're really going for a surprise move. They're pressing the lineup. But GV are well positioned. I am not sure if this push is going to work, but we are going to be descending into Pandemonium very, very quickly. Bifrost just going straight into Berlin. But I think Feast might... I don't think this is a well-calculated move, however. Feast are leading by more than 2 hit points. Hidden surprise. Oh my god, bounces that shell, but GV, what they only need to do, they only need to kill off and isolate the tanks and also focus fire. Bifrost to focus for GV. Good shell into Professor, but the focus fire for Feast is a little bit off here. Hidden surprise, looking for Manila, and oh no, that's a very bad shot here. The formation is also not ideal here, and now they are 2 guns down. The sleeping line Honko's looking for Manila. Manila is really, really low, and I think he will kill off Manila, and I think the next time will be Professor James Bond is also killed, but the double T20s are looking for Monaco, and he's also dead, with Sleepy Lion also dead. Now Maddox looking for Professor F Silver is really, really low, and Professor bounces, and that is important bounce, but it's 3 versus 4. Can F Silver survive? I don't think he could. I really don't think he could. Moscow, what is that shell there? F Silver bounces onto Moscow, and Sugamuka is looking for Moscow. Moscow is still alive. F Silver is still alive for some reason. And look at the mobility, but F Silver is finally dead, and I don't think Feast is going to make a comeback in this one. At Tokyo, oh no, Sugamuka also bounces, and I think there are too many bounces for Feast, and I think that was a very ill-timed push from Feast here. GV, I think their lineups are capable in defending that push, and Sugamuka just didn't bother to run. And the third game goes to GV this time. Ooh. No, don't you dare stun. Oh my goodness me. Oh, once again, thank you, Overdose. Oh man, I think I did compliment that. Right. I think did someone say about the cap? Why do you get off the cap? Yeah, I think I want to ask that question as well. But Yakuza, obviously the best player on the Asia server, doing more than 5k, and Tokyo and Berlin, 6 kills in total. Feasts, I don't know if that's a good call to make a push like that. GB aren't in any situation playing broad. And Feast just, I think, it was really a big gamble that it really didn't pay off, and I think you really need to reconsider that choice here. And now we're on to the 4th game, 2-1 so far for GV, and it's a best of 7 series, so no match point yet for either team here, but it's going to be very, very tense indeed. Don't worry, yeah, Wi-Fi Firefly's channel is getting really, really hyped and excited. Oh my goodness me. 1 T22 failed in fees according to Kraken. But look at this, we have GB going with double T22, double IS4, double T110E5, and Yakuza in the mouse. Feast are going with Maddox in the IS4, triple T110E5s by Bifrost, Bond, James Bond, Shugenmugu, Sleeping Lion in the Crown Vargan, and F-Silver R and Vickers Light. And I think this time Feast is taking a more heavier, like a heavier setup to kind of cater for this map. GB is doing doing the similar stuff, and I think they don't need to change anything. They probably just need to play with the map awareness rather than an initial strategy, and I think GV can come out on top on this, and Feast just need to be careful. They don't want to make a very aggressive push once again without getting enough information. Yes, Stage, you're right, it's really good. I think I really like it, especially the first team. The reactions are very quick and very astute as well. And Feast this time going mostly to AM, going to the northeastern corner, so there's GB with Sleeping Lion Hong Kong is going to get some spot up Yakuza. He's going to get the landing, he's going to land that reset shell, good shell into Yakuza, but C is going to be captured by Manila, and A is going to be captured by GB as well. Maddox is there, getting the spots up, getting 4 times spotted, and he doesn't have to, I mean, he cannot reset A because otherwise it's 4 versus 1, and Feast would not want to make that same mistake once again. And here we go. It's really nail biting. It is really nail biting. And GV, if those 3 tanks stuck in A, and I think Feast, I think they will try to make this opportunity. I think the main weakness in GV's lineup is, I think it's the C cap. There are 2 isolated tanks with Yakuza and Manila. Marcus is also isolated. But on the other hand, these 3 tanks are also isolated on A. Feast are dropping some hit points there, and GV would want to regroup their forces because I think their lineup, their formation is a bit weak here. But Feast also dropping a lot of hit points. And now Feast have already made a move. They have made a move into A, but GV has reacted to this completely. F-Silver R is coming from behind, and I think Tokyo is dropping the reactive armor. There are 4 tanks onto just 1. It's just focus fire practice for Feast at this moment. Moscow and Shugenmugu and Marcus are going for Moscow, but these 4 tanks are now getting counter pushed by GV. GV is in the advantage so far. Bifrost is looking for Tokyo, and it's a kill to Tokyo. And now Moscow is still really low, but hidden surprise is that James is going to die. F-Silver is now dead. It's now 4 versus 5. It's still really close. Monaco is really low, but they have lost all their mediums and lights. So I think Monaco just need to stay alive and they will be fine. And B4 is looking for Berlin. Berlin should not be the first time going in, but they are focusing on the T22 instead. But Berlin is lower in terms of the hit points. Yakuza is getting focused by the Sleeping Lion. Hong Kong, they are focusing the mouse. No, don't focus the mouse here. Shigemuki is looking for Berlin, and Berlin is going to be a one-shotter, and Maddox looking to kill off Berlin here. Hit points still with GV. Berlin's now dead, but Maddox is going to die as well. Professor's taking a double tap here, and it's now going to be 2 vs 4, and I do not think that Feast has enough effective DPM to win this one. And Professor is now very, very low. Shigemuki is looking for the head of Professor, and I think there is some kind of packet loss issues here. I have to make sure if that internet is working fine. Oh, what the heck has happened? Getting some horrendous losses, packet losses. Sleepy Lion Hong Kong is the last man standing, and this game will go to Feast. So let me just check whether my internet is fine first, because it is looking really sus. There we go. Now it's going to be match point for GV. Yes, I mean it's the internet should be working fine. I think it's just Wargaming side for that pack of loss. We're seeing 4 tanks doing more than 2k. Feast also 4 tanks doing more than 2k, and that's really outstanding performance from GV. And Feast wasn't able to capitalize on GV's isolating setup there. I would say, and Feast quite hesitant in that last match. I think that first game from Yukon really threw them, and now they are in a very, very dire situation. They need to win 3 games on the run. GV just need to win once more, and they will take it to the into the grand finals. Now it's going to be Feast who is going to feel the pressure here, and it's all about the psychology here. No team here wants to go on tilt. No team here you're seeing wants to be on tilt, and can Feast make the ultimate comeback? We'll know very soon. But Feast just needs to stay calm. They are under pressure, but they are no visitor to pressure. Am I loading into the game here? So you're seeing lots of super heavies. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of action over to the eastern side here, and double T22s once again by GV, and oh my god, it's really, really bad here. Let me just restart the game and see if it's going to go any better. I apologize for that. It's really the game that is really letting it down, so I apologize. I will start the game once again, and hope it will be better. So sorry for the coverage. You will be missing some part of it. It's still connecting. I'm just going to load the game once again. Oh dear, this is really going bad. If not, I'll try the Windows version. It's best of 7, so whichever team wins the first 4 matches will win the fixture. I think I'm finally loading into the game. Come on. Come on. Ah, there we go. Finally, we are back to the game. But how much have we missed here? Okay, 2 tanks have been down, so we have missed quite a lot. I'm very, very sorry. I just cannot connect into the game for some reason. And it's still really, really bad. Okay, so now Feast has the cap advantage, but the hit points are with GV at the point. They're now focusing Tokyo. Sleeping Land, Hong Kong, Bifrost, and James are looking for Tokyo. Man, what is this? What is this packet lost there? I mean, Tokyo is it's going to be the focus. Manila takes a big hit. James is looking for Manila, obviously. Feast is still up in the cap points, but this is still very bad. Oh, what the heck is happening? Oh gosh, Manila is really, really low now. And Tokyo is, I don't know what's going on. The ping is really, really bad. Let me just run the ping, let me just run the speed tests. Oh my goodness me, 93% packet loss. What is going on here? Okay, another thing I would do is that I will, it seems it's going to be a win for, it's going to be a win. Yeah. I think it's just really my end here. I'm going to disconnect the router, and then I will reconnect once again. Oh my gosh. Gosh, oh my gosh. Please don't do it to me. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so hopefully this is going to be fine. But it seems... Is it, 2-3 for Feast? Or is it 2-3 for Feast? So far. Or is it not? Yes. Oh, it's 1-4. 4-1 to GV. So it's actually GV winning that match in the end. Didn't catch all of that in the end. So congratulations to GV and commiserations to my stream in the last game. I'm sorry. And then also really good job to GV. Right, so here we go. Let's load the challenges tournament for you. I just have to double check it says unstable connection, which I have to check, and now it's Fees vs ID in the lower bracket finals. It is. Yeah, the chat is not working. I think that the plugin just stopped working. I will play a match. This was very unexpected. It is really. Just I got booted out. I don't know what happened to the internet in the last few minutes. Just was very unfortunate. Got heavy packet losses. Have no idea what's going on there. But on the other hand, where is I can't even use Firefox right now. So the only thing I can check the challenges tournament is to check it in the game. So challenges tournament, we will be seeing RN in the grand finals. They have one calm, drum roll, 2-0, 2-1. They have one calm, 2-0. So congratulations to calm here, and they are now through to the grand finals, and our Carl will be facing Kang at the lower bracket finals. It is. So the next matches will be held in the going to be held very late. We're going to be seeing here. It should be held at okay, it says 12:09 or 10:12 according to the website in my time, and in Hong Kong time that translates to 10:08. So we'll analyze some matches. I will analyze actually I think the fourth match of GV, and I think there are loads to talk about that game here. So the next games, I have to get it right here. Today is the 27th, so no. Going to update this, and here we go. Oof. Mad games to the root. Everyone. Oh my goodness me. Oh my god. Yakuza. 3 games in a row. What a match that was. Oh my god. I'm terribly sorry the internet failed. I hope this is not going to fail in the lower bracket finals. Otherwise that would be very bad. No keys, sorry, no keys for you. It's 4-1 for GV, so GV has done really well, and I have to change stuff in the behind the scenes as well. And obviously some problem with this. No, you don't have reward, Sereno. No, you don't. I have to get the right. No, not to. What is this? It's the right one. There we go. We got it right. We got the right team name there. G will face either Feast or ID in the grand finals. So they will be getting at least 1,500 US dollars, or is it 2,000, something like that? I forgot. But unfortunately, because of the regulations, they aren't earning anything, any monetary prizes due to the local regulations. I believe when they participate in the winter season championship, they know this, and they're just going to play playing for the reputation rather than the monetary prizes. It is so. I think we still have a lot of time, but I think before we continue, we have to double check whether there is some big ping spikes in the game. So for that, I will play a game in. I'll play one game in that IS7, and we will see if it's going to go if it's going to be better or if it's getting worse. I'm sorry, but what happened in the last game? It is my internet acting up, which is really bad. Oof. I don't know what has happened. Ooh. Congratulations once again to GV for winning the 4 matches, and commiserations to Feast. But they are still in the game. It seems to be much better now, so the packet loss has disappeared. So I think it's just, for some reason, the internet just acted up and then just ganged up on me, and I think there is a conspiracy for this stream to work very bad. I blame the government for this. And you know, it's really bad. You know, it's just appalling for that to happen in the first place. But anyway, let's not go into like that. And can I get a shot into that STB one? Oh yeah, that's a penetration. It's a well-aimed shot. E50M is holding there. I'm going to load my H sheet here. Nope, it's not. I'm going to look at the Sheridan. I'm a bit worried about my right side, but I don't care at this point. Let's just push the line up. ARWV. Oh, we got the same. Well, Sheridan. Hello. There we go. Oh, good kill on that. I'm going to face you first. Yeah, then go for that E3 instead. Gang up on that. That was a terrible shot. There we go. Can I ram you? Please tell me I can ram you. Yes. Thank God. Then I'll go for someone else. Bad Chat can deal with that Sheridan potentially. No, I can't land it back with G-Shell. So I will land a shell into the E4 instead. It's still, I mean, the frames per second is a little bit bad, but it's just because the stream is ongoing. That's a shell into that E4. Oh, come on, can I get my gun down? There we go. Wow, how did I get that bounce here? Oh god. He's AFK. It does look like he is AFK. Oh. How dare you. I'm going for Crown Bargain instead. These teammates can go for that TD, right? Yeah, it's kill. Last man standing is that Crown Bargain. Who is next is shown on the stream, I think 5 minutes ago, probably. It's Feast versus ID next, highlighted in red. So this is the match we are following next, and it's going to start at 8:10 in Hong Kong time. Here we go. Can I just I just attract you with my ram? Put a good shot into the Crown Bargain, and it's a very solid victory for me. More than 4k done, and the packet loss is not there, so really nice. Yes, Grand Finals is tomorrow, and I'll be streaming that, so yes, here we go. Got stuff. Nothing I can get the re. Can I still get rewards? Oh yeah, I can. Oh, well, I mean, it's still better than nothing. Right, I will go back to that. I will go back to the A20 just because you don't want to mess people up with the lineups and so on. And other than that, let's analyze the match, shall we? Oh, I forgot to go back to. Oh my gosh, I forgot to go back to, you know. Oh Jesus me, this is bad. Right, so let's find the stream up. Oh my god, it's really going very bad so far. Which is not nice. Yikes. Alright, here we go. At least you guys are very patient, and hopefully it's fine right now. I'm sorry for the last 10 minutes of hiccups, just really bad. You won't see that on the Asia server, on the E server tonight, so don't worry. I'm going to load my H sheet here. Nope, it's not. Okay, so let's find the fourth match of Feast versus GB. Thank you very much. Oh, so here we go. The analysis is going to come very quickly, and we'll analyze the fourth match of Feast versus GB. Here we go. let's go. Feast just need to be careful. They don't want to make a very aggressive push once again without getting enough information. Yes, Stage, you're right. It's really good. I think I really like it, especially the first team. The reactions are very quick, and
First
very
match, I
astute
mean.
as well. And Feast this time going mostly to A and going to the northeastern corner. So there's GB with Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. Is going to get some spots up Yakuza. He's going to get the landing. He's going to land that reset shell. Good shell into Yakuza. But C is going to be captured by Manila, and A is going to be captured by GB as well. Maddox got the spots up, a very interesting play, but the potential problem with GB here, they have the T-22s able to rotate to support. I think this is what we are seeing. So there are two isolated pockets. You're seeing right here, you have these tanks over here, and you have these tanks over here. Okay, so you know you don't want to rush the mouse. So in a sense, if you have 7 tanks, what Feast could do in this situation, because the mouse is slow, the other tank beside him is an IS-4, I believe, is also slow. So the way to tackle this, in my opinion, would be kind of some tanks are behind. You know, there are some tanks behind here, as you can see on the mini-map here. Right? So in a sense, just hold off for a little bit. Sleeping Lion and hit the mouse, just hold off a little bit. First, hit the surprise should go first and potentially take this lane and rush with Maddox. Take out these tanks. Allow Yakuza and also the other IS-4 beside him to go into the battle slowly. And this is what I will be doing if I were Feast at this point, because I do not think GB has a good setup in terms of defending. Maddox is there, getting the spots up, getting 4 tanks spotted, and he doesn't have to. I mean, he cannot reset A because otherwise it's 4 versus 1, and Feast would not want to make that same mistake once again. Oh dear, and here we go. It's really nail biting. It is really nail biting. And GV, if those 3 tanks stuck in A, and I think Feast, I think they will try to make this opportunity. I think the main weakness. Okay, stop. So you can see this is a really good overview here. So you can see Yakuza and also Manila on C, and the double T125 and Berlin on A, with the T20s hovering around the backside. So in a sense, the first idea is to push these 2 tanks, but you know you don't want to rush them out because that will give enough time for the T125 and IS-4 to rotate. So I probably would want to rush to the A side instead. And as I said, the T125 go back, they are not unspotted, rotate, come on, and then join Feast with that mouse going in as well. Sleeping Lion Hong Kong can stay in where he is, and hopefully you will get also that F Silver R probably going to the backside of these GV tanks. And it's going to be interesting in how it's going to work. But I think this is what Feast can do in this situation. I think they will try to make this opportunity. I think the main weakness in GV's lineup is, I think it's the C cap. There are 2 isolated tanks with Yakuza and Manila. Marcus is also isolated. But on the other hand, these 3 tanks are also isolated on A. Feast are dropping some hit points there, and GV would want to regroup their forces because I think their lineup, their formation is okay. So the problem with Feast right now is the T125 stopped. The main reason why I want to call for a push on A is that you want to make use of the IS-4 and the mouse being very, very slow. And if you stop on the way, that will give time for GB to regroup, and you do not want that to happen. If you wasted the time for GB to regroup, then you cannot push onto A. They have already put their tanks, they have already fortified those 3 tanks there. You have nothing, you can't do anything but to hope that GV is still very bad in terms of defending, and GV really is making use. I really like how GV has really quick reactions tonight. They will make FaZe pay for their hesitation here, so continue watching. It's a bit weak here, but FaZe also dropping a lot of hit points. And now FaZe have already made a move. They have made a move into A, but GV has reacted to this completely. F0R is coming from behind, and I think Tokyo is dropping the FaZe once again stopped, and you are already seeing the mouse there very close. Yakuza and also Manila very close into pincering these tanks. So what is GV doing? Really capitalizing on the hesitation, get the eyes for the mouse slanking from behind, trapping these tanks here. Meanwhile, Moscow, I think, can just go back and probably that I would say GV are on the advantage here with double T22 mediums. Or otherwise, Moscow can also try to go in and work with the T22s to shut down Maddox first. Okay, so very interesting. GV is really making use of FaZe's hesitation in this one. The reactive armor, there are 4 tanks onto just 1. It's just focus fire practice for FaZe at this moment. Moscow and Suga and Mugu. Suga and Mugu and Marcus are going for Moscow. But these 4 tanks are now getting counter pushed by GV. GV is so FaZe, what they did is a last-ditch effort to shut down the isolated tanks on A, but at this point it's too little too late, because already Monaco is dealing with the Fecus Light, which is a good call, because already they have lost so many hit points. You're seeing Hidden Surprise very low, down to 1,000 hit points. James Bond now down to a 2-shot, so FaZe, this last-ditch effort might not work really well. Yeah, they will sacrifice Moscow, and hit points are in favor of GV by more than 1,000 hit points, and in the brawl situation, this will give you a solid advantage. It's in the advantage so far. Bifrost is looking for Tokyo, and it's a kill to Tokyo, and now Moscow is still really low, but Hidden Surprise is dead. James is going to die. F Silver is now dead. It's now 4 versus 5. It's still really close. Monaco is really low, but they have lost all their mediums and lights, so I think Monaco. So at this point, what can FaZe do? I don't think they can do much. GV, yeah, Monaco is slow. It's 4 versus 4 in this situation, but they have a lot more hit points somewhat. Bifrost is quite low, so I think Yakuza and also Manila, they are very healthy. Go in. I mean, just kind of block FaZe a little bit. Focus that Bifrost. And I think it will be a win for GB in the end. Berlin needs to stay back. He is really low, so allow Yakuza and Manila to receive some damage. And that would be really nice indeed. And that, I think, really relies on the callers to kind of coordinate that. And GV will win this one. But just need to stay alive and they will be fine. And Bifrost is looking for Berlin. Berlin should not be the first time going in, but they are focusing on the T22 instead. But Berlin is lower in terms of the hit points. Yakuza is getting focused by the Sleeping Lion. Hong Kong, they are focusing the mouse. No, don't focus the mouse here. Shigemugi is looking for Berlin. And Berlin is going to be a one-shotter. And Maddox looking to kill off Berlin here. Hit points still with GV. Berlin's now dead, but Maddox is going to die as well. Professor's taking a double tap here, and it's now going to be 2 versus 4, and I do not think that FaZe has enough effective DPM to win this one. And Professor is now very low. Shigemugi is looking for the head of Professor, and I think there is some kind of packet loss issues here. I have to make sure if that the internet is working fine. Oh, what the heck has happened? Getting some. Okay, so this is the game you're seeing right here. So it's a really good reaction, really good game from GB to punish FaZe for being very hesitant and taking a little bit of shortcuts. And I think you also know that GB has done really well in really isolating the FaZe tanks into one single choke point, and FaZe just very hesitant in this game, and this is a really good victory for GB, despite them not having a really good setup at the start, but that doesn't matter. So here we go. Good day, hello, Killshock. The score, you can see the score now. It's 4-1 for GV, and Feast versus Team ID is Team ID is now going to be facing Feast in the lower bracket finals, and we still have around 10 minutes to go. So not a lot of time, so I won't analyze another match. So let's go over to this to the trivia. So here we go. Upper bracket. It's going to be lower bracket finals. So it's now different. Winter Season Championship, all the games you're seeing tonight will be in the best of 7 series, so whichever team wins the first 4 matches will win the fixture. The format is a double elimination knockout stage, which means whichever team loses 2 fixtures in this tournament will be knocked out of the tournament. And format you're going to be seeing which team will be joining GV in the grand finals. And the tournament is seeded by the leaderboard ranking with previous skill tournaments, and that information can be found on the website under the Hall of Fame tab and Clans sub tab. Monetary prizes is as follows. Either Feast or ID will take home with a $1,000 US, second place $1,500 US, and the first place $2,500 US. The maps are here are going to be as follows. Lower bracket finals, we're going to start off with Camsia, Faust, Desert Sands, and finally Black Goville. And tonight we're going to be following upper and lower bracket finals with the grand finals held tomorrow. So the games will be starting in around 13 minutes. There is a 5-minute delay imposed on the stream so that people cannot stream snipe, and they cannot know what the enemies are doing, what tanks they're taking, what positions they are taking, and so that there is no loophole to be manipulated, so to speak. Magdox is the captain of the team. We also have Bifrost, F Silver, Hidden Surprise, Sleeping Lion, Hong Kong, XBM, WW, Winter Fox, Bond, James Bond, and also Shugu and Mugu. Once again, Feast is a team that is in a rebuilding phase, so they are concentrating on player development, so lots of trainings, lots of scrims, lots of other relevant stuff will be on player development and also team building. They previously announced that hiatus back in right after the 2020 autumn season, or the Blitz Asia Cup, and they have worked really hard for this season, and they are now back in the running, and I'm really happy to see. But Feast was also the team that participated in all the professional tournaments since 2018, and they have been they represented Asia server back in 2018 and 2019 in the Twister Cup, and GV is the team that is already through to the grand final. So let's hover over to the Team ID's lineup. We have Campen, Captain of the Team, Plorielica, Lanny, Arrowpath, IDS, Last Hope for Me, On You, Spartan Sword, Active Duty, and Radioactive. Team ID is also another legendary clan, the only Asia server clan which reached to the finals of the Twister Cup, and they lost to C4 in 2016, but it was the only Asia team back then, or was the only Asia team that reached the finals there. And this the Team ID, the 2016 Team ID is a lot different than the current Team ID team you're seeing. Past achievements have included the second place in 2018 Twister season, first place in the 2020 autumn season, and elsewhere, and 2020 autumn season third place it is, summer season the first place for Team ID. Madbox has got the prediction of Feast versus GB very wrong. Obviously, GB 4-1 against Feast, and Challengers Tournament, it's going to be RN 2-1 or 2-0 against Calm. Oh, we also know the result already. Calm has won Kang, and Calm has previously beaten Kang 2-0 and lost to RN 0-2 in the best of 5 series. Who is going to take the title of the Winter Challengers Tournament? We're going to find out tomorrow, and no one's streaming that, however, which is really sad to see, but it is what it is. So, lower bracket finals, congratulations to Calm and commiserations to Kane. They have well exceeded their expectations, and it's going to be RM versus Calm, and here we go. If you want to donate to my stream, as always, here are the methods. The recommended method is through PayPal. Other methods including Streamlabs tipping, YouTube Super Chat, and so on and so forth. If you cannot donate any money to this, then like this stream, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So the Challengers Tournament will be as follows. Calm 2-0 against Kane, and now it's going to be RN versus Calm in the Grand Finals. And interesting, very interesting. RN definitely was very dominant in this tournament. 2-1 against UI. The only match they lost is against UI. Otherwise, they won 2-0 against EA, 2-0 against Calm. And will they win by a big margin against Calm? We will know tomorrow. And King is on a, Calm is on a much, on a much more difficult route. Won King 2-1, won Cam 1-2-0, lost to RN 2-0, and won King 2-0 once again. And finally, let's ask Madbox about the predictions here. So the maps are Castilla Faust. Ooh, there we go. So is ID versus Feast. Let me check once again. Camstia, Faust, Sans, and Oasis Palms, isn't it? Or is it not? It's Blackoville. Sorry, Blackoville. I mean, they are very mobile maps, so I think Feast may have an advantage in this, but we'll never know. So Madbox is predicting. Oh gosh, Asia server. Madbox is predicting. Oh, come on. Madbox is predicting Feast to win Team ID 4-3. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. I have to actually include the results earlier today, so because I haven't done that, so where is it? So it was Vineyards, Yukon, Alpenstadt. Yukon, Alpenstadt, and also Navy Frontier. and his Feast win the first game and losing all the remaining games, while GV it's a bit painful sometimes. Okay, here we go. Still Feast 4-3 against Team ID. I think that match didn't really got registered in the end, and yep, that's it. I think the room is up, and here we go. Feast versus Team ID. That is. Oh, LDS, sorry, it's LDS, I thought it was IDS. No one said that until now. Thank you, Frozen. Because I mean the font, I really hate when the font just puts I and L in the same shape, because I apparently you can serif that, and then L you can also have a little bit of a tail in the end, which makes it easier to identify. And a lot of font now, the I and the capital letter I and the lowercase L is just very similar, so I can't even tell the difference between them. And we're seeing Maddox in the IS4, Bifrost, Kramwagen, F Silver in the Vickers Light, triple T125s in the by Hidden Surprise, James and Shigemuku Sleeping Lion Hong Kong in the IS4, ID triple T125s by Campen Active Duty and also LDS. Last up for me in the Kramwagen, double IS4 by Pluriatica, Spartan Sword, Radioactive in the Vickers Light. As you can see, Camp Steer is a very undulated map, a lot of high and low elevation. So theoretically, how down tanks really work well, but it's also quite extreme in terms of terrain. So even though if you are good in how you have good how down tanks, it might not work as in the way you want it to be. So that's why you might be seeing some IS4s, which would be used to kind of work on the flat grounds and also cap resets potentially. But with but you definitely need the light tank or medium tank to get the spots up, because it's it's quite a big map as well, and you really want to make use of the spotting positions to get information for you, and especially with Camp Steer being a very campy map. If both teams are there to stop any clan from getting a base, then you really need that medium or light tank to get the spots up for you, to get information so that you know where to push or something like that. Here we go. Feast versus ID. First game with the Feast on the south side, ID on the north side. Once again, we have Bengling and Sionku streaming on Bilibili in Mandarin, so it's a different target audience. And if you want to watch this match in Mandarin commentary, in Mandarin language, then go ahead and watch these two commentators and see. I haven't watched Bengling commentate yet, so we have yet to see how both of them, how he is approaching the style of the commentary. Let's see. With 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Let's hope I got the right side. Winter Fox and XPMWW on the suspension. So it's Camp Steer first game, and just going to check. Let me just go back to here. This is look like, right? And which one is on which side? Oh, ID's on the other side. Oh my god. Oh, come on. You kidding me? No. Oh no. Right, so at least it's not hard to change the code. But I just have to spend some time in changing the logos and something like that. So bear with me. I really hate that when that happens. That it's not fun. It's not fun at all. Luckily, I have made a mechanism so that changes like this could happen easily. So in the end, it's going to take some time, but it's now fixed. Don't worry. Feast, blue team south spawn, red team by ID north spawn. And Maddox is climbing up this slope to reset me potentially. This is what I call Cab's DFS. Because Fees are positioned in such a way that they won't be able to reset A potentially. Bifrost is looking at A and ID will be careful about getting A. But they have 3 tanks potentially going for A. Will Bifrost be able to reset them one by one? Or will they not? Bifrost cannot spot, only spotted up Campen. And ID will be getting hold of A pretty easily, and Feast, I'm not sure if it's enough with just a Krabwagen over there, but Harmy, or Born, James Bond, and Hidden Surprise looking for T110E5s. Polyanica is taking a lot of hits trying to go for B as well, but ID has now made a big push. They're looking for the head of Bifrost right now. Maddox is receiving some hits in the middle. Bifrost is now in some sort of trouble. Hidden Surprise coming up that bridge, but he's going to be shut down by ID's forces. Receives a shot. Oh, barely manages to get up on top. Let's look at Hidden Surprise here. Oh, it's a bounce onto active duty. That was a poor bounce there. But Feast is losing hit points left, right, and center. And this is looking a little bit. This is really close. It's we have descended into a dog's dinner here. Bifrost is now a one shot. Is going to be active duty. That is the first tank down. IDS is looking to kill off Bifrost, and he does. Last for me is going to be a focus for Feast. And James will be looking for the head of Last for me, but Maddox still holding on. He has retreated backwards. That was a good shot from Maddox, I believe, onto Last for me. And Suga and Mugu just need that last shell onto Last for me. And he's tracked once again. That was an important track shell there. Last for me is now dead, but Suga and Mugu is looking for Campen instead, I believe. But I think he does not have shots, so he went for LDS instead. And Campen's getting shot at by Hidden Surprise. Born, James Bond needs to come in. But Feast has the hit point pool advantage with Radioactive now going to be killed by F Silver. He cannot fluff that shell. But he don't. Did he fluff that shell? I think he did. But for some reason he's killed. Shugemug is now dead. It's now 4 vs 4. Campen's just having his turret damage, his ammo rack damage, his accuracy damage, and it's going to be really hard for Campen to land some shells. The IDS is really low, dropping the reactive armor, and the Sleeping Lion Hong Kong is swimming down the river, and you're seeing Campen now getting trapped there. Hidden Surprise still really healthy, but F Silver is a one-shot, so it's still really close to call. Feast doesn't have the hit point pool advantage. LDS now down. With Hidden Surprise looking for Campen, but it's a bounce as well. And Hidden Surprise needs to land that last shot onto Campen. And Campen is just looking for other tanks than looking for James Bond. And Hidden Surprise will be looking to finish Campen from the back. And he does. Sleepy Lion Hong Kong is a one-shot still. F Silver is still lurking behind. But ID has got 2 bases already. And Born James Bond is looking for Porielica, but Sleepy Lion Hong Kong is now dead, leaving 3 tanks up, still alive. But look at F Silver, puts a good shell into Spartan Sword, and Porielica is spotted as well, and he's dead, killed by Bond. James Bond is now getting captured by Hidden Surprise. Feast still doesn't have the hit point, the cap point advantage. But they are just 1 shot away from winning this. Spartan Sword is looking for the head of F Silver, obviously. And F Silver, oh, it's a bounce. Oh no. Spartan Sword, can he land that shot onto F Silver? He's hiding behind that rock. But that would buy time for Feast to move in to mobilize their forces. Bond James Bond is looking for Spartan Sword. But he's a 2-shot, so he might not want to risk. But he is going to risk in the end. He's looking for Spartan Sword. Oh my god, it's a ball. No, it's a bounce. And that's a good shell from F Silver. But I think Bond James will be reloading more quickly. But it is F Silver getting the kill in the end. Oh, thank you very much, Bock and Calls. Saying hi and where's the maid costume, lol. No, I don't have that, so I'm not planning to buy one though. I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me with that. Although I'm totally open to different types of dressing, but maid is not my cup of tea, unfortunately. So Feast going with 4 tanks doing more than 2k. ID 4 tanks also doing more than 2k, and that was a very solid victory for Feast. And ID not able to be not clinical enough with that push down on the A side, I believe. And that middle push was quite rash as well. I mean, lost some hit points in doing that, making that move. But it's just going to be Feast versus Team ID in the second round. Feast once again winning the first match, but you know they also did that against GV. But look at what happens there. They lost the next 4 matches. Will that happen again? We will find out soon. So, Feast with Maddox in the eyes for Attribution, which is a tank that is really good in Camp Steer because you have really high ground that is going to give you a lot of view, lots of a very broad line of sight for you to put your shots in. And we also have Frost in the 2175 alongside Hidden Surprise, F Silver in the Vickers Light, Sleepy Light Hong Kong in the Crown Father, Sugar Book in T22, Team ID, Triple T125 Spy, last hope for me, Camping and LDS, Activity in the Ice for alongside Spartans, so Employ Relica in the T22. Hello, Dunlop. I don't know if it's how you pronounce that name, but lag voice chat it is. Is my voice lagging though? Pritam's just coughing. Hello, Set Pete as well. Hello, Cloudy Snow. Hello, Uncle. Setups like in the CIS region. Hello, Methodier. Oh, thanks for joining in. GV Num going to Luan. Thank you for your support, and I hope we're going to bring in some exciting matches here. Feast, all the North Spawn, Blue Team, Red Team, South Spawn, ID, that is the case. We're seeing the Team ID are going for an Iron Fist onto C here. Sleepy Lion Hong Kong might be in loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of trouble. But maybe not. We will know. But look at this. Their rushing lineup has already been spotted, but will Feast have the tanks there? But Sleepy Lion Hong Kong is shouting for help. Oh my god, let's look at his perspective. He is witnessing. Oh my god, his days are numbered. His seconds are numbered here. Oh man, Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. But actually, no, ID is ignoring Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. They're going for these tanks instead. The T125s are the tanks isolated or out in the open, but not Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. I think they want to stave off these tanks first and then assassinate Sleeping Lion Hong Kong next, and they've done that. And they have done it really well. Oh, Radioactive takes a really big hit there. And Sleepy Lion Hong Kong is going to be assassinated by ID. And Feast would be like, Sleepy Lion Hong Kong would be like, go push to the other side right now. The Sleepy Lion Hong Kong is moving forward so that he can get out of this as quickly as he could. Drop the speed boost, but trying to put a shell into activity. He knows he cannot run anywhere else, and this is going to be a slaughter for ID. Let's say F for Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. On the other hand, F Silver is also dead. Bifrost is dead now. Sleeping Lion Hong Kong is actually a 3rd tank down. And Team ID is really leading in this one. It's now going to be up by 3 tanks. Spartan Sword's going to be dead under the hands of Feast. But Sugar Mugu receives a big beating there. He's also dead, and Feast is just crumbling. XPM WW still sniping at the back, but I think he will be of no use because ID will be shooting from these buildings, and Maddox, it's going to not going to be the focus, and it's going to be Hidden Surprise. That is the focus, and Maddox is now going to be surrounded by these tanks here. ID and XPM WW will be the last man standing. ID got both B and C, so if they could not kill off XPM WW quickly enough, which I think they will kill off XPM WW, they still have the caps to as a buffer. And XPMWW is the last man standing. Really good job from ID. And we simply didn't have an answer to that push from Team ID. And I think what was not in the calculation is the positioning down in the middle, and ID really made that surprise here, and that was a pretty brilliant game from Team ID, bringing it to 1-0 for the lower bracket finals. Privet to the two viewers, to the two audience members who just joined in. Hope you have a nice day. And we're seeing Feast 2 tanks doing more than 2k, ID 5 tanks doing more than 2k, and that is going to be one of both teams. Are now onto Faust, and it's a map that is somewhat, I think it's somewhat small in a sense. Maybe it's quite big, but in a sense it's also somewhat small. A lot of action will be happening around the northeastern corner, and it's somewhat I think it's a good mixture of undulation and also flat ground. So I think it will be a mixture of a lot of tanks here. You have a mixture of hull down tanks that could work the ramps. You have a mixture of the heavy tanks, the heavily armored tanks, to work with the defensive moves and also the flat terrain. And then you also have the mediums and lights to run around, get the information up, because it's still a map that has a lot of obstacles, and you really need those mediums or lights to get the information up for you for different sides. So this is what we are seeing for not really for both teams. We don't see a lot of heavily armored tanks like the IS-4. In fact, only one IS-4 is taken for both teams. That is Spartan Sword in the IS-4. Otherwise, you're seeing triple T110E5s by Maddox, Bifrost and Hidden Surprise, and triple T110E5s also from Team ID with Campion, Last for Me, and IDS. One Kranwagen for both teams with Sleeping Lion Hong Kong in the Kranwagen and Activity in the Kranwagen. Double T22 by James and Sugar Mugu, and one single T22 by Plorietica and Radioactive in the Vickers Light. Karim saying lol. Ooh. Oh my goodness me, no. Just no. I have to do makeup as well if that's the case. Which I don't know anything, but the sound engine is so what is the sound engine here? It gets interrupted every single second. Lol. But here we go. Feast. Going to C, and ID is going for B, D, a little bit of some Monet as well, but C is going to be captured by Feast of Sleeping Lion Hong Kong gang. The spots up taking the outer cage position. Is he going to land some shells into Plorietica? That was a good reset shell there from Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, but receives a big hit from Spartan Sword, I believe. There. Feast with a good with a hit point pulley with a cap point advantage at the start, just mixing these two terms a lot of the time. But Mad Dog's going for D, and Plorietica is getting out of trouble. Radioactive needs to get out of this as well. F Silver is looking for the backside of Radioactive. Radioactive. Oh no, he's in loads and loads of trouble. Team ID needs to support Radioactive right now. Are they doing so? They are a little bit slow in the rotation. They're looking for... I don't know what they are looking for. To be honest with you, and the Bifrost is now going to be the focus. Drops the reactive armor, but he can just pull back very nicely. I would have gone for both Hidden Surprise and Battles. Trying... I mean, little hope in trying to rescue Radioactive, but he is unfortunately the sacrificial lamb for Team ID. And now Bifrost is going to be surrounded by the Team ID's forces. Good shot there, and that's a bounce, I think, onto Bifrost. And now Bifrost is going to capture B, but no. Team ID is looking for Bifrost, and he landed that HE shell. Yes, that's a good kill to Bifrost. And now Plorietica is the next tank down. Feast is now leading in hit points. But ID is trying their best to pull it back, and the focus now on Last of Me for James Bond. And Hidden Surprise is going to put a good HE shell into Last of Me, and now it's going to be 4 versus 6, with IDS going to be the next focus for Feast, and Spartan Sword probably on this in this area here. The Feast is now a little bit off with the focus fire, but still they have a solid hit point pool advantage, and they just need to kill off Spartan Sword. And Spartan Sword is now tracked, perma-tracked, I think. He's tracked once again, poor him, and Spartan Sword is now dead. It's now going to be 3 versus 6, with IDS coming out from behind. Campen is going to be killed by Feast forces, with Active Duty now surrounded by Feast forces. F Silver is going to land a big shell into Active Duty, leaving LDS as the last man standing. And that's a good kill. Onto Active Duty, and LDS in the E5 killed by Mugu. What a brilliant game from Feast. Really made use of that mistake from Radioactive, and ID for some reason didn't provide support and didn't really make a good decision, didn't really make a prompt reaction from Feast move here. That was a really good game from Feast. 5 tank sumo and 2k, very punishing indeed. Ploriaca is actually the tank doing the player doing the least damage, 0 damage. It is only 2 tank sumo and 2k, and that is a little bit of a disappointing match from ID, but maybe just a blip there. They can absolutely do a comeback here, we will never know. But that's Feast against ID on Faust. This is the lower bracket final. Oh god. Come on, did I have the wrong, you know... Oh, thank you very much for 63 viewers again. Let's get more viewers, shall we? I'm pretty sure I got the right bottom third. Yeah, so it should be the lower bracket finals as shown on the stream. Here we go, Feast going with Maddox and Hidden Surprise in a double ice for double T125 by XPM, WW and Bifrost. F Silver in the Vickers Light and Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, Kranvag and Shigemugu in the T22 ID. You can see a lot more mixture. That is what I've been saying about Faust. Feast is doing that. ID going for double Kranvagens by Active Duty and Ploriaca, triple T125s by Campen, Last for Me and LDS. Radioactive in the Vickers Light and Spartan Sword in the Ice Wall. So both teams are taking a mixture of held down tanks, lights and mediums, and also heavily armored tanks. So this is Faust for you, not Feast for you, Faust for you. And let's see how both teams are going to approach this. But Team ID needs to make sure they don't make that same mistake of not helping someone once again. Or if they want to abandon that player, they absolutely needs to consolidate and make a push on one side immediately. Because otherwise, you just lose a tank and do absolutely nothing on the on chipping away the hit points of the enemy team, and you would not be leading in hit points, and that's not the situation you want to be in. Right, you're right. Spartans, Spartan 617 or Bok and Coles. Feast, blue team south spawn with red team being ID on the north spawn. C is now going to be captured by ID, and they're going to get a cap lead at the start. And now we're seeing Active DT taking some hits here. Let's head down to his perspective. Can he reset D this time? I think Shigemugu is going to be safe here. Active Duty is not looking at D. I mean, they don't need to because they have to hit the cap lead. Radioactive is going really aggressive. Not sure if this is a good call though, because he might not get enough support, and if Feast just make a big push onto Radioactive, and Radioactive is just a little bit careless, but so does, I mean, not really a bit, Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. Maddox needs to be really careful about that move though, but ID, Radioactive, takes a big beating in that move, and they are bleeding tremendously, and this is not what they want to be in, and ID is very spread out. I'm a bit worried about ID's strategy positioning here. Campen is now going to rush XPM WW, and Team ID Oh dear. Feast, are they rushing Camper? Good track shell from XBMWW. They're consolidating here. But on the other hand, ID is looking for a push there. Good focus onto Camper. That's another good track shell. And Camper with the first tank down for Team ID, I believe. On the other hand, these now getting captured by Radioactive and Hidden Surprise still a bit low. Camp is going to go down very quickly and still alive for some reason. Porienica is going from the backside and Camp is still alive for odd reasons now. He's dead, but that really means ID has the time. Has really make a push now. Hidden Surprise now dead. Hit points are neck in the XBMWW is looking for Radioactive, but he's going to be under a lot of trouble because Radioactive has his last clip there, and he kills off XBMWW. Now, Maddox is looking for active duty. He kills off active duty, and it is still really close to call. Bifrost is looking for Florianica's backside. He's gonna let a big HE shell, and that's the case of Maddox. Oh no, he cannot join Florianica, but this is still really close to Shuki and Mugu. He's looking for Florianica. It's put a good killing shell there, but it's now going to be 3 versus 4 with the turret flying away. And LDS is going to be the next focus for Feast, and he's dead with last one for me. Going to be a focus for Team ID. This is, I think, it's over for Team ID here. It's going to be 3-1 for Feast. Bifrost is going to land a big shell into... No, it's going to be Sugar and Mugu. Last man standing will be Spartan Sword. And Sugar and Mugu is looking for that tank. And Bifrost is looking for Spartan Sword. It's going to put a really, really good shell. And Sugar and Maddox... Oh, bounces onto Spartan Sword. And Sugar and Mugu is going to be looking for Spartan Sword. He's the last man standing. And Maddox is looking for Spartan Sword. And kills off Spartan Sword, giving Feast the match point. I like that now the sound engine, if you want to exit the window, it's going to be the sound will fade in the background, will fade out in the background. And if you go back to the window, the sound will fade into the window, unlike the previous sound engine where the audio suddenly cuts off. But apart from that, Feast 6 tanks similar to 2K and ID. Very questionable formation I'm seeing right here. 3 tanks to Moon 2K, and that allowed Feast to isolate tanks, and this is a really good match for Feast here. And ID needs to do better on Desert Sands, which is actually a game which is going to be all about brawling in the Desert Sands, in the desert area, in the desert area. And ID would be also will need to make sure that they can come up on top of that desert area. And I think the problem with I think Desert Sands is a map that is going to be all about the desert area, so you will be expecting a lot of hull down tanks and some mediums as well, because a lot of terrain good for hull down, and you can be very nimble with these medium tanks as well. IS-4, I think most of the time they will be in the city side, just to probably go and look at B, or maybe go down the bridge and get some crossfire in with Team ID, going with triple T22 and quadruple T125. I like the strategy from Team ID and see if it's going to work. The reason why people don't use the Leopard 1 is because it's big, it's quite big, doesn't have really good armor, although it has a good gun and also it's a good gun and mobility. It's just really the size of the tank, and also the armor is quite papery. You can actually the backside and also the side armor of that Leopard 1, and this is why people take the Vickers Light instead, because it's smaller in size, and also and it's also more mobile, if I remember correctly. So this, and also slightly better armor. F Silver has got the spots up. He's going really aggressive. Probably overpeaked a little bit. Received a shell there. So far, ID hasn't dropped any hit points. Campers in the city side. and Porielica is looking for shots over to Feast. Uh-oh, it's a bounce. It's a miss. I mean, their Feast. Porielica is very far forward, so he has to be really careful. ID Campen down the middle. But oh dear, I think he overpeaked a lot and received double tap from Feast. This is not the mistake you want to do. LDS is taking some hits there. I think Feast is trying to push up and trying to apply pressure. Camp is taking more and more hits. He has to stop dropping hit points here. LDS and ID is fighting back, spiting back. They are looking for XPM WW, but I think the reactive armor is really doing the job here. And it's going to be Campen, which is the first tank down. Feast is potentially coming on top. ID needs to regroup and they need to kill off XPM WW. And it's going to be the case. It is. Which tank is going to kill off XPM WW? That is Lanny here. But Active Duty is also dead. The focus fire from Team ID is a little bit off here. And Porielica is really low now. And the Sugar Mugen is also one shot. And hit points are with Feast at the moment. And it's going to be 4 versus 6. 4 versus 5. Now Sugar Mugen is now dead. Next focus for Team ID. They are still looking for the next focus. They're looking for a hidden surprise, which is very, very healthy. Or maybe F Silver instead. The focus fire from Team ID is really lackluster in this match. With Bifrost going to be really, really low. Radioactive now dead. Spartan Sword is killing off Bifrost. It is the case. And ID and LDS looking for Maddox. Feast needs to regroup. They cannot allow Maddox to die. And Sleeping Lion Hong Kong is looking for LDS. Hidden Surprise also moving in. F Silver is providing the crossfire into LDS. And LDS will be the next tank down. And Maddox is now one shot. He needs to stay back. And now, Maddox is now dead. 3 versus 2. ID can still do this, but it's unlikely now. Landy is going to be the focus for Feast, and F Silver is really low, but Landy is going into it's going to run away. Probably they want F Silver down, but he's getting double tapped. Oh, it's a bounce. F Silver is now on one shot. Can Spartan Sword or Landy land that shell? But it's going to be Hidden Surprise, putting a good shell into Landy, and F Silver is going to die. Probably, but not really, because Hidden Surprise is Sleeping Lion Hong Kong is marching into Spartan Sword. Spartan Sword is throwing everything he could to salvage this situation, but I think it's too little too late. Now, both Sleeping Lion Hong Kong and Hidden Surprise has gone over the ridge, and F Silver is still trying to stay safe as much as he could, but Spartan Sword is going to go down. He puts a good shell to Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. But it's not going to be the case. F Silver is just on the wing of that airplane, and then he dropped down. And Spartan Sword just receives another shell from Sleeping Lion Hong Kong. What is that shell from F Silver? It's a missile. It's a bounce. I think it's a miss there. Spartan Sword tracks Sleeping Lion Hong Kong, and that means Feast 4-1 against Team ID, and they are through to the Grand Finals. Huge congratulations to Feast. So once again, we are seeing GB versus Feast, and that game will be best of 9. So congratulations to Feast. 3 tanks doing more than 3k. ID 4 tanks doing more than 2k. But I think the main problem here is ID, the lack of focus fire. They are very confused. At one point they want to go for that tank, but at another point they want to go for this tank. And with this, Feast is just better in terms of locking down targets and staking to the target they would like to go for. And this is a dominant performance by Feast, and I would say huge congratulations to Feast and ID. They have done really well. Got the 3rd place once again in the winter season. I think there is a big season ahead for them, and they need to constantly improve. I think they have the potential. They just need to find the mistakes they are. But I believe it's pretty much the focus fire which they are lacking a bit, in my opinion. And sometimes the formation, like the second Faust game, which they really played it really broadly and wasn't able to consolidate. And they also have to be careful about a tank getting shut down very quickly. They have to make a decision very quickly in order to make it close to the enemy, so that they will not get a big advantage killing a tank. But alas, it's Feast on top really well. congratulations to Feast, and they will be joining GV in the grand finals. On the other hand, we know that RN is playing Calm in the grand finals. So it is going to be it for today's stream. I hope you enjoy my stream and my commentary. And I just have to include this as well. So I have to generate the bracket once again. The next match is at 7 in Hong Kong time, and I'll be streaming that and I'll be following that. I might prepare something special, but so we'll see. GV versus Feast, and this is it for me. So thank you very much for watching. Apologize for the blip in the middle. The last game of GV versus Feast, there was some kind of internet issue on my end. Has been fixed for now, so you're seeing some brilliant matches after that. So don't worry, it's nice and dandy now. So don't worry about that. You just have to apply it to EU server as well, and not for the NA server. I won't be streaming the upper bracket I won't be streaming the Winter Season Championship. I just have to find it right. There we go. I had to change the times, and there we go. Let's talk about the EU server tonight, what you're going to be expecting. I'll thank you once again for Spartan617. Yes, I'm blocking calls. Yeah, you're blocking calls. Don't torture me, please. Thank you very much. Daniel saying the Feast, the control, I can translate from Chinese. He's really, Daniel says that the Feast map control is really good. I agree with you. In control of the situation, the tempo is really good. Will wargaming increase the damage in Soviet tanks? I am not sure. I think it's fine. I think the HP is reasonable. I think the alpha damage is reasonable. I don't think we need a buff with that. Kraken saying some throw from ID. You mean thrown away matches? Because throw and throw away are two different terms. Have to be careful because throw means you lose pretty much deliberately in a way that you kind of collude with others. But throw away means just you originally have a big advantage, but then you just dump it away. And that's what we call throwaway. So if I say the match has been thrown away, it's not because it's not because the team has lost deliberately. They just lost a big advantage where they should not have done so. If I say the match is thrown, that means there is some kind of collusion happening, or maybe there's some kind of the sad team is throwing. It's just losing deliberately. That's what we call throw, and do know the difference between throw and throwaway. So if I say throwaway, I don't say that the teams are losing deliberately. I'm just saying the teams have lost a big advantage, and they shouldn't lose a big advantage in this way. I seldom say throw, unless it's even it's very very obvious. I do avoid saying it's a throw. I would only suggest that being the case. But anyway, it's 4-1 for Feast, and now they're in the grand finals. GG to both teams. Prosen saying sad. And the Winter Season Championship on the EU server, it's going to be Aqua versus Endgame first in the upper bracket finals, and the loser of that will face Karna in the lower bracket finals. Sad P saying sad. I'm very very sad about Team ID here tonight, but at least it's some really good matches for both teams. And EU server, we will be seeing Aqua versus Endgame, and the loser of that against Karna. and we are seeing the grand finals in the end. And this has been what was Helper. Thank you very much for your support, and I will see you all tomorrow. Aqua, see you all later on in around 6 hours, where I'll be following the upper and lower bracket finals, starting off with Aqua vs Endgame and the loser of that against Karna. That means ID will be going home with $1,000 and the grand finals, it will be decided who will be taking home the $2,500 prize pool. And other than that, has been a fun ride, has been a fun winter season so far. I really like that. I really like this format, though the qualifiers can be shortened. Albeit there are lots of controversies concerning about sportsmanship on certain teams, but at the end of the day, they've shown us some brilliant matches. They've made the game very exciting to watch, so the game is very exciting to watch. So lots of positives to take away. I'm not going to mention all the negatives because let's not be very negative about this. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed my commentary, and I really hope to see you all later on. And thank you very much once again, and bye for now.